But since we're on Cam Ward, Todd McShay was on Rich Eisen. I haven't watched this video yet, but the title is "The Ringers." Todd McShay. So weird not to see ESPN next to his name anymore. The Titans should draft Cam Ward #1 overall. So we're gonna pull that video up and react to
It's
that.
a big. It's a change though. Now he was the one. Was he had us taking Abdul Carter, I think, before, right?
Yeah, there's been a lot of love going towards Cam for sure.
We haven't seen trades amongst first rounders or into the first round or out of the first round. We haven't seen one yet. Why do you think?
I think there's a couple things. I think a couple teams in the top 10 at least temporarily solved their quarterback situation for next year.
Right.
It doesn't mean that when you bring in Justin Fields that prevents you from drafting.
Pause real quick. And that changes more even today, right? I'm sure this video came out just before maybe the Jameis Winston news, or if not a day before.
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
was
sure.
like yesterday was when it came out.
So that's even more so now. With what he said, just wanted to touch on that real quick. So
the biggest thing is I definitely don't think Jameis Winston stops you from drafting a quarterback for sure.
no, we said that before. Yeah.
No, but I do,
especially a team like the Titans.
You're kind of banking on Justin Fields a little bit more, younger, more potential.
And with the Jameis Winston signing, I think that shows that the Titans are probably leaning more towards Cam, and the Giants are going to sit Sanders and let him kind of develop for a year. They have a better veteran option than what we have on our depth chart.
You don't think the Browns might go Sanders?
I don't think so. I think the Browns could possibly go Abdul Carter. They've got a lot of money tied up in the quarterback position.
I could see them taking Travis Hunter as well. The Browns, I think, are a sneaky one in there. I think they could go any which way, really.
Could you imagine Myles Garrett and Abdul Carter?
I mean, I think if we take Cam Ward, like everybody seems to think, I think the Browns could realistically take any one of those other three.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I could see. I mean, they're an interesting team right there at #2 for me.
Yeah, for sure. That's so what I've heard is that they love Cam Ward. So like,
are you Giants or Browns?
Browns.
Okay.
Ward. So if we were to go Shador, they would jump on Cam Ward, but maybe they don't feel the same about Shador.
Okay.
They do about Cam, I don't know. But
we never know how much smoke and mirrors these guys are giving off between each other, man. I don't know what kind of poker game they're playing. You know,
it's like the GMs get into a room and like, all right, let's tell Adam Schefter everything.
I'll give you another one to think about. Think about Abdul Carter and a Mike Vrabel defense.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Harold Landry out there too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens for sure. But let's go.
We're back at number 7 if you're the Jets. And that's something I think we should probably start paying a little bit of attention to. Doesn't mean a 35-year-old Geno Smith next season for the Las Vegas Raiders that maybe if they've got a guy that they don't want to draft a quarterback there. But we know there are 2 quarterbacks that are probable to go in the top 3, but not definite. And I think
it says we are drafting Cam Ward
right now.
Period.
We know their process. They would freak out if you.
I agree, dude.
Because they're not done with their process.
Cam Ward all the way. I acknowledge you, Cam Ward.
I've had the benefit of meeting Philip Stinnett before. He's a big Dan Le Batard guy, so it makes him a big Miami fan. So it's like Miami's like his second team. So,
Dan Le Batard, eh?
Hey, and Stugatz.
That's a process, whether it's Brian Callahan.
Stugatz is greater than Dan Le Batard.
He went through with Joe Burrow, the organization, and what they believe in. They want to finish their process. And I think Albert Breer had a great article about,
hey, quick pause.
What they're going to go through.
Just a fun little story since y'all brought it up, man. I was this close to getting on Dan Le Batard one time as a caller, man. I was on the way. Yeah. I actually got to talk. I think it was Greg Cody and Guillermo I talked to on the phone.
Guillermo is my favorite. Billy?
Yeah, Guillermo's sneaky favorite of mine. I haven't watched the show in a few years, but I used to watch it religiously every day. And yeah, I was this close, dude. And they cut to a deadgum break, and I didn't make it on. I stayed on hold, man. I was so close to getting on, man. It was but yeah, just
Guillermo's my favorite.
Quick fun story.
Billy, man. Billy is so funny, dude.
Yeah, just a fun story there, man. I was so close to getting on Dan Le Batard with Stugotz one day, man.
That is really cool.
Leading up to the draft. So once they've made the decision, and if it's not Cam Ward, that's when I expect the phone lines to open up. But as of right now, according to everyone I've talked to, and I think the sources that you talk to, and they're well sourced, that those calls are not being made at this point in time. So I think that's the first domino, and we'll find out probably, I would guess, in the next week or so if Tennessee is interested in moving out or Tennessee's all set and don't.
He thinks a week. I think if a move like this happens, it's going to happen really close to the draft.
Well, I
That's
think
what I
he's
think.
just basing it off of the pro days. I mean, you're going to see both quarterbacks throwing in the next week, and you're going to hear. I think rumors are going to swirl right there.
So the biggest thing that came out with the Cam Ward and the Titans thing is they were thinking about moving down and going Abdul Carter and just building the team. But once they met Cam Ward at the combine and then did his 30 visit and talked to him,
He was just really impressive.
Just enamored with him. Yeah, like the way he talked, like the way he could like break down the film and explain why he made it. Like he'd be like, I know this is a poor decision, this is why I did it, but I understand why it's wrong. And,
Right.
Even like his negative plays, he was able to really break it down.
That same time period, you had the injury news about Abdul Carter coming out as well. Also,
that definitely probably has a bit of an effect.
They say it's not serious, but once, like you said, they had a method to what they're like all their pickups and their ability to concern, because he did miss some games this year too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and even if you're like, oh, it's just a fracture in his foot, you're like, is it going to be an ongoing issue down the road?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Something we couldn't get from Levis. So Levis, we've talked about it, has all the tools, everything you could want in a quarterback except for what's here.
Yeah, he doesn't have
that fast enough. You know,
the chemical IT, I like to call it on the chart. Man, he doesn't have it. Like
one of the biggest things they've talked about all off season is mental makeup and what is their nervous system. And I think that really came to him from like dealing with Will Levis. Is he didn't have the nervous system for, because he gets really high strung and like really built up, especially when things start going wrong. One thing I'd say about Cam Ward is like the dude looks comfortable in a pocket. Like he doesn't look bothered by anything as he sits back there in a pocket.
Well, and I don't know, like I don't want to put this on because I like Will Levis and stuff, but I was frustrated with the mayonnaise shit. You know, I mean,
this is a great question right here, because I've been looking at the mock drafts and seeing this happen. JP wants to know, what's y'all's opinion if Luther Burden falls to the second round? Snag him up immediately.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on who else is left in the second round, right? I mean, we talked about a few guys, right? But
if any of these three fall to the second, him, Egbuka, or James Pierce, if any three of them fall to the second, snag them.
That's what I was saying before we went live, though, right? If we were able to pick up trade for someone like a Romeo Dobbs, I don't think we touched on that actually.
We mentioned
Romeo Dobbs,
but we didn't talk about
it. And if we were able to get like a small trade for something like that, say like a 5th rounder pick or something for Romeo Dobbs, and then someone like an Egbuka is available, our wide receivers are set for the next few years. You know,
Egbuka would be a beast in the slot.
So there's a lot of interesting players that could drop to the second round that would be interesting. That also being one there, but So and we also talked about James Pierce as well, if he were someone that.
Yeah. So Burden, Egbuka, and James Pierce are my dreams in the second. If one of them
were absolutely. Absolutely.
Until we hey man, John Robinson's not here anymore. Okay. We're gonna draft, develop, and pay our guys now. That's the method. All right. We gotta let go of the AJ Browns. 30 years ago, we drafted Steve McNair. I see this, dude. That is a big thing that's been coming out. Is the similarities between Cam Ward and Steve McNair. Just the way like they.
And every Titans fan should want Cam Ward to be better. As much as I love Steve McNair, I want Cam Ward to go out there and be twice as good.
I think with this, Steve was amazing. I think
sure.
Not saying he got. he got held back a little bit by Jeff Fisher's system. I think because Heimerdinger, or is that right? Heimerdinger,
Yep.
was
Mhm.
the offense.
Heimerdinger was
We
offensive.
ran at like a 70% clip, and then
Yeah.
so you're talking about he was putting up MVP numbers on 30% of the plays being pass plays, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Let's
absolutely, man.
let's get back to McShay though.
We don't need to get on the phone.
Well, maybe what would influence Tennessee would be a Godfather offer from a team that doesn't get Aaron Rodgers. Maybe his process
What's a Godfather 31st?
is causing a little bit more of a slow motor in New Jersey and Pittsburgh, right?
Yes, but I'll say this: Tennessee, yes, slow motor from the teams that potentially could be trying to move up. I agree with that.
Okay.
Tennessee, you know how it goes. Like if you finish your process of the evaluation and you've spent the time flying to Cam Ward and working him out individually and putting your installs in, and you've brought him into your place and he's met everyone there, and you've spent time on the board with him and watching tape and picking his brain and getting to know how he met.
People, like, this is the thing. People don't understand how in depth these meetings are with these guys. It's not like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. This
And
is
the weird
our,
questions I've heard they
equipment
get
guy.
asked too.
Rodgers can go sit in a dark room and retire. I know he's probably got to go hit the ayahuasca.
Dude, we should pull up there's like a list out there somewhere of like some of the strangest questions that they get asked to in some of these meetings. Like they ask some strange stuff.
Do you like green Jello or red Jello?
It throws me back to the.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
It throws me back to the Jaden Daniels video that's been circulating. What do you do on this play? Throw a touchdown?
Check this.
I don't know. It's meat between bread.
In 1997, we moved to Tennessee. The new stadium opens in 2027. The stars are aligning us for losing Matt Stafford and Puka in 2030. There's no way Matt Stafford's playing in 6 years, right? No way.
Nah, man, there ain't no way unless he wants to be in a wheelchair.
It's going to be some guy that's in the CFL bagging the groceries right now, and then they're going to sign him off the street, and he's going to beat us.
Processes, and when you're done with that, if you think he's the guy, there shouldn't be a compensation package.
We can all do this
you off that
in the stands as he throws touchdowns.
My answer. But if you either decide we're all in on Cam or we're going to go with the best player in this draft, and that's Abdul Carter, the edge rusher from Penn State, and we think we might be able to – we know we could get him at 2, and we think there's a decent chance we could get him at 3, but probably going to be Travis Hunter there. And so we're out of the quarterback market with this first pick in the 25 draft. So I think that's what's happening right now.
What would you counsel Tennessee to do 34 days before the draft, Todd? What would you counsel?
I would take Cam Ward. I think he has the talent to be developed. I think you brought in a coach in Callahan who has worked with Joe Burrow, who can help in the development process. I think when you get these opportunities, you got to take them. I mean, you can't look at that
I agree.
division.
I'm scared to not take him.
Division, quarterbacks that are in it, and so you have a chance with a guy who's got some really unique things about his game, from the arm angles to I love his on schedule stuff. When he gets to the top of his drop and is decisive with where he wants to go with the football, he's a flat.
Oh, look at this comment. That Andrew guy is good looking. Man, look at that.
Out assassin. Okay. And so in addition to that, the arm angles and the off schedule things and what he can create, he's got to work. He's got to speed up his mental process. There's no question. Make some decisions that frighten you at times. But we said the same stuff about Patrick Mahomes. We've said the same stuff about Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Said the same stuff about Lamar Jackson.
Sure did, man.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Said the same stuff about Will Levis.
And unfortunately, they were correct. He was Mr. Mayonnaise. I was afraid of that, man, when he became Mr. Mayonnaise guy, man. Like, I was just like, my biggest fear at that point was for him to become a flop, man. It couldn't have worked out worse, man. Like,
What are you talking about?
Oh, Hellman's.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I want to pull this up just because you're talking about Josh Allen and stuff like that. Before we get to the next video. I thought this was really a cool little thing. I think we already looked at this, Mike, in the group chat. But this is a graph of, success rate, turnovers, sack rates, just all the things that kind of go into being a good quarterback. This is Shador Sanders. It's a decently good graph, actually.
Pretty balanced.
Yeah, really balanced, and like the turnovers are down. It's kind of how you want, Will Levis. This is his junior year, though, when he had his best season under Liam Cohen. This is Will Levis' senior year.
Whew.
Not great. It's really, it kind of stands out.
Not great's an understatement. That's bloody terrible.
You thought it was explosive plays is really what stands out, and that's what always has stood out for him. He wants to take the deep shot. Almost like a Brett Favre just coming into the league too late, because that's all Brett Favre wanted to be, right? Was that gunslinger mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Ward. That's a beautiful looking graft. There's one more.
He's just missing one piece of pie.
Well, that's a lost turnover, so that's not really something.
Oh, okay. I see. It's hard for me to see. I had to zoom it in enough already.
There we go. Does that go a little bit closer for you?
Yeah, it's a little better.
One more graft. Now, I'm not going to say he is this guy, but Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh, man. They're twins.
Yeah, they look oddly similar. It's actually Mahomes' turnovers are a little higher. So I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes. I'm saying Patrick Mahomes wishes he was him.
Different seasons, right? Different seasons, different schools, different opponents.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of but that's interesting. Yeah.